if this board wants me to analyze the effect of this resolution in a legal opinion for you, I'm willing to do that, but I haven't been asked to do that yet.
Well, in addition, that resolution also states that the specifics are actually, the costs are not incurred by the county. They are incurred by the retirement system in the form of excess earnings. And excess earnings to date have paid for that. So
that's correct.
So it really is a non-issue with respect immediately to the county. It's a function of the excess earnings of the retirement system. But to our consultant's review as required by law, the Gadsby 45, we have to declare what ultimately that liability would be, because the additional component of that resolution states that something along the lines, I don't have the exact language here, but it speaks to excess earnings are to be what is used to pay for retiree health. And I believe, and I don't know if council has the document or not, but it does go on and state that if excess earnings are not available, it reverts to the County of Mendocino to be responsible for that, and that retirees can be asked to pay up to 50%, I believe, of those associated costs.
Right. The county's obligation doesn't kick in until the excess earnings are no longer available.
Right.
That's true. And the 50% requirement is contained in the resolution as well.
Great.
But if you'd like me to evaluate the resolution and provide you with a complete review of it at this point in time, I'm happy to do that.
Well, I think that's good clarification for now in concert with the report we just had. Thank you.
Supervisor Delbar.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to tag on a little bit to Supervisor Pinch's comments, it was a very tough decision, but when we looked out there and saw a room full of people, I mean, there was not an empty seat in this room when the proposal was made, or the recommendation was made by some that we completely eliminate the retirement health or go to a pay system for those currently retired and working for the county. I believe both Johnny and I at the time said absolutely not. We had a contract, we had a commitment, and as Mr. Melvin said, that's what we wanted to stick by. The September date was not picked by accident. It was picked because we realized that we could not continue financially with that commitment for the new hires that we would come prospectively. So we picked that date so that anybody coming in would have an understanding, future hires would have an understanding of what benefits would be there. But we were not going to go back on, from my perspective, the word that the county gave when we hired and people came to work for this organization. That is in that resolution, and that commitment is one that I will continue to stand behind, because that was a promise that the county made to those folks who have dedicated their time to this organization, and I have no interest in going back and taking that away from you. Thank you.
Okay, any other points of discussion from the board? Okay, we'll show receipt of the report then, and thank you, Brad, for your presence here today. I know it was somewhat last minute to have you this early in the morning, and I do appreciate you making the time and the effort to be here, so do appreciate it.
Just a comment.
Sure. Supervisor Pinto.
It's just going back 10 years, it's nice to see Joyce and Budge and Dennis here, amongst others. So it's nice to see you again. Thanks for coming.
Okay. So this will conclude this agenda item, and we'll move forward on the agenda. Thank you all for attending.
Budge.
Well, we've got a couple cleanup household items. Okay, before we go into closed session, we were scheduled at 10 o'clock. We do have a couple of follow-up items, just basic housekeeping. To the CEO, do we have a legislative fiscal report? How about CEO report? Okay. Any committee reports from board members? Seeing none. County Council? No report. And no boards or commissions appointments today. So at this point, we'll move into closed session, and we expect to conclude right at the noon hour. Just got